Hi. In this recording, I'm going to talk about thoughts that make up reality and the world around you. So, people can have different perception levels, and people can see different things in their perception. One person might focus on some details, while another person focuses on other details. Right now I'm walking on grass, and that's what covers my field of vision. And now I stepped onto asphalt, and on the asphalt lays some dead leaves and sticks, and one person might focus on the asphalt and just the fact they are walking on asphalt, while another person focuses on the sticks and dead leaves. So different people basically perceive the world differently. And this has to do with a lot of stuff. This has to do with, well, your genes, also who you are as a person, what your preferences are, your awareness level. If you have a high awareness level, you'll notice many things. If you have a low awareness level, you might not notice as many things, but just some things. Now, perceiving the world, humans can perceive the world in very different ways. And you can call the way a human perceives the world around them, you can call that the matrix around them if you want. You can also call that their bubble of perception, which is how they perceive the world around them. So the way people perceive the world around them can be very different. It can be so different that it is compared to different states that can be compared to the difference between a sober mind and a mind on a small dose of a psychedelic substance. Now, I do not want to tell anyone to do drugs. This is just an example. Now, people perceive the world very different. One person doesn't notice much detail. And why would they? They wouldn't need to look at the world with a detailed perspective. Like, if they saw a lot of details, it wouldn't really matter to them. But to another person, it would. Because everyone has different preferences, everyone has different values, everyone has different things that they feel like they want to focus on. Now, it gets a problem when a person feels like they have a very low perception. When a person feels that they are stuck in some kind of a fog, that's a way you can describe it. And they don't know what this fog is, but it feels like there is some kind of fog similar to the fog that alcohol creates when you're under the influence of the substance. So this has to do with perception and awareness. And the levels, or the different states, I can call it, in which people perceive the world
Name.
Or you could call it the different awareness bubbles or perception bubbles. Bubbles of perception can be very different. So one person is walking in the forest and kind of just thinks about the fact that it is a forest, and another person is walking in the forest and to them is not that different from walking on a road or walking in a building. It's kind of the same, just different things. And you know, if there's a lot of one thing, for example, a lot of soil on the ground and a lot of trees, then I can start to feel a certain vibe, because all these things come together, create the forest. But for another person, it isn't like that. I don't know what this is, but it's a thing that I'm talking about, so I call it perception bubble. And sometimes it feels like a thing in your perception bubble doesn't belong in your perception bubble, but it belongs in somebody else's perception bubble. Oh, sometimes when you see different cars with a sleek model, it almost feels like they're out of this world. It almost feels like something from another perception bubble. Sometimes when you look at people, it can feel like certain people are from a different perception bubble. But then you start to think, is this their perception bubble that I'm feeling right now when I'm looking them in the eyes? Is the way I'm perceiving them when I look them in the eyes the way they perceive the world around them? That's a theory. And sometimes when I look at certain not eatable mushrooms, I don't know what kind of mushrooms, just some mushrooms that I saw on a grass, I thought that they kind of popped a little bit out of existence, and it looked a little bit to me like they were part of another perception bubble than the one I'm usually in. So this is probably also what you can call a state, but I call it perception bubble. And yeah, I don't know, it's just a topic that I wanted to talk about. And in this video, I don't really have any points that I want to bring up. I'm just talking about the subject and seeing where it leads. And I am walking in a forest right now. And because of the fact that the topic is the perception bubble, I am pretty aware, maybe, of things around me. Yeah. What else can you talk about? What else can you make a recording about?